Hi, I'm Rich Torrey. Welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. We're going to wrap up our little series of cartoon duos, at least for now, by drawing the stars of one of the greatest comic strips ever, Calvin and Hobbes. Bill Watterson's masterpiece was brilliantly written and illustrated, bringing Calvin and his imaginary tiger Hobbes to life through his incredible brush and ink work and hilarious plot lines. If you've never read any of the Calvin and Hobbes collections, I encourage you to do so, as they are exceptional. Anyway, all you're going to need to follow along with me today is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? Before we get started, make sure you hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. Okay, so let's draw Calvin and Hobbes. We're going to draw Calvin and Hobbes step by step, giving you the secret formula to be able to draw them again and again. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I normally use the character's head to figure out how big the entire character is. Hobbes is 4 heads tall. In other words, however tall his head is, his entire body is 4 of those. Calvin is half of Hobbes' size, with virtually the same size head, not counting his points of hair. That said, in this drawing, Calvin is standing a little lower than Hobbes on the log, so keep that in mind. So now, armed with that information, what do you say we start with a roadmap for Calvin and Hobbes? So there's a roadmap for Calvin and Hobbes. Now we're on to step 2. In this step, we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the third and final step, to draw as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help you to know where to put some of the character's features. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing, so you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. So let's rough out Calvin and Hobbes' features. Okay, so there are the roughed out features for Calvin and Hobbes. Now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for the final step. In step 3, we get to have fun. We get to draw in the final details of Calvin and Hobbes. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work to figure that out. In this step, it's okay to draw darker, but don't press too hard or mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. Always draw with an eye on tweaking and improving until the very end. Before we go on, I want to point something out about the way Bill Watterson drew Calvin and Hobbes, and in turn, how we want to draw our final lines. There are several places, most notably Hobbes' fluffy cheeks and chest fur, as well as Calvin's hair, where the final line does not connect. In other words, you want to leave some space or air between some of those lines. If you're not used to doing it, you may feel the urge to connect every one of those lines, but try to fight that urge. The other thing to remember is Bill Watterson drew Calvin and Hobbes with a brush, giving that final line a somewhat thick and random feel to it. We can't recreate that exact look, but it's worth keeping in mind as you finish your drawing. Okay, so let's draw in the details for Calvin and Hobbes. Alrighty, there they are, the amazing Calvin and Hobbes. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn either of these characters before, then you cannot expect to have drawn them perfectly. You notice I don't spend time coloring them during this video because I want my lesson to focus solely on the drawing process. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing Calvin and Hobbes. With that, you can draw them again and again, and by all means color them when you're done. I promise each time you draw them, it'll be a little better and a little easier. I also promise the more you work with me, the better you're going to get at all of your cartoon characters. For those of you who want to go a little deeper, click on the link below for my free 4-part drawing series where I spend more time explaining the details and the thinking behind each step in what I call the level up cartooning process. So now I'd love to see your drawing of Calvin and Hobbes. If you can, take a picture and post it on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag #LevelUpCartooning. I hope you had as much fun as I did with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.